I have this wonderful stage play I'll like to pitch to you, title Meet Me on the Moon. The play is about Donyale Luna, the first black high-fashion supermodel. In 1965 Luna became the first black model to appear on the cover of Harper's Bazaar and the first black model under exclusive contract with the top fashion photographer Richard Avedon. Fashion writer Bill Cunningham wrote, "The white model-dominated fashion world is confronted by the first ethereal African queen image. Her body moves like a panther, her arms, the wings of an exotic bird, the long neck suggests a black trumpet swan. It is the birth of a new fashion era." By the mid-1960s it was about time for an image of a black woman to be on the cover of a fashion magazine in the US, and Harper's Bazaar had the balls to do it. 10 years before that cover, there were beauties like Helen Williams who appeared in ads in black publications like Ebony. At that time, Dorothea Towles became the first successful black model in Paris to walk the runways for Christian Dior. Other working model like Liz Campbell, the wife of Gordon Parks, Ophelia DeVore, Sarah Lou Harris, Mozella Roberts, all from the 1940s and 50s, opened the door for Miss Luna, but they never got the opportunity to grace the cover of an American fashion magazines like Harper's Bazaar, Elle, Glamour, Mademoiselle, or Vogue. In 1966, Donyale Luna became the first black model to appear on the cover of British Vogue, photographed by David Bailey. On this cover Luna hides her face with her hands, except for her boldly outlined eye. Reportedly that shot was chosen not to offend the British Vogue magazine's regular white readership. The editors said they fear of racial backlash from their white subscribers. Even in the UK it wasn't an everyday thing to have a picture of a beautiful girl of color on your coffee table in 1966. 5 years later, in 1971 Carole Laubrie became the first black model to grace the cover of Italian Vogue. It took American Vogue nearly a decade, after Luna British Vogue cover, to have the guts to put a black model on its cover, and that model was Beverly Johnson, who graced the cover of American Vogue in August of 1974. In the 1960s most models made less money in Europe than they did in New York. Not Miss Luna. While other models' asking price was $60 per hour, she broke the $100 per hour mark when she arrived in Europe. Before Miss Luna came alone, the industry saw models just as mannequins. She said, "You were not allowed to talk to fashion editors or photographers about the work. It was all about the designers and their clothes." She changed all of that. Miss Luna also made it about the models who was selling the fantasy of high fashion. In 1967 the manufacturer Adele Rootstein created a mannequin in Miss Luna image for department stores all around the world. Donyale Luna also made news all around the world with her work on the catwalk. The first model who brought movement to the runway. In one show in Paris she was backstage listening to the Rolling Stones on her transistor radio. The stage manager said, "Luna, you're up next," with radio in hand, press up against her ear with the Rolling Stones song "She's Under My Thumb" blasting out the speakers. Miss Luna sashayed down that runway. For the first time, clothes was moving with electric personality and excitement. The audience exploded in a frenzy of approval. From that point on, runway fashion never again ignored the power of the black model. At this point Donyale Luna was living in wonderland of dreams, being one of the top models of the world. You name it, it's most likely she did it first, and if not first, she did it the best. The great Salvador Dali considered her one of his favorite models. During the late 1960s and early 1970s, Luna appeared in several films. When asked about whether her appearances in Hollywood films would benefit other black actresses, her answer was, "I couldn't care less about Hollywood. I'm an international star, not a little Hollywood actress." In 1970 she was the star in Federico Fellini's Fellini Satyricon. She portrayed the witch Enothea. Fellini was nominated for an Oscar for Best Director for the film. Miss Luna was also featured in Otto Preminger's comedy Skidoo, where she played the mistress of crime boss God, portrayed by Groucho Marx. Other films Miss Luna starred in are Who Are You?, Polly Magu, Tonight Let's All Make Love in London. In 1972 she starred as the title character in the Italian film Salome, by director Carmelo Biniand, and appeared in the Rolling Stones doc film Rock and Roll Circus. The project was originally conceived by Mick Jagger as a way of branching out from conventional records and concert performances. Miss Luna dated founding member of the Rolling Stones Brian Jones, who left the band in 1969. Jones died less than a month after leaving the band due to a tragic drowning accident and battled with a serious drug addictions prior to quitting. It has been said it was Brian who introduced Miss Luna to drugs like LSD and heroin. In May 1973, while attending the Cannes Film Festival, Miss Luna pitched the story of her life to many European film production companies. They all thought it was an interesting idea with all that was going on at the time with the Versailles 1973 American runway revolution. She also met with Berry Gordy, who was at the festival that year with Diana Ross promoting Lady Sings the Blues. In an Italian magazine interview after the release of the film Mahogany, Miss Luna stated she had a private meeting with Mr. Gordy. They talked about their hometown of Detroit, Michigan, and she gave him her movie treatment. A film she wanted to do about her rise to the top of the fashion industry. In the film story outline, she said she went into detail about how a fashion photographer discovered her, changed her name from Peggy Ann Freeman to Luna, which mean moon in Italian, the first name Donyale, she made up herself. The more successful she became, the more controlling and possessive her fashion photographer manager became. She stated that Berry Gordy's 1975 film Mahogany was loosely based on her life and the film treatment she pitched to him. Donyale Luna didn't have a Hollywood ending. At the age of 33, while estranged from her husband, Italian photographer Luigi Casanego, she died in a Rome clinic, in the early hours on May 17, 1979, of an accidental heroin overdose. She left behind a 18-month-old daughter named Dream. Dream Casanego is a successful dancer, actress, and singer in Italy. She has worked with great artists all over the world, traveling live tours dancer for Jerry Halliwell, Ricky Martin, Lionel Richie, and the wonderful Impossible Princess, Kylie. Donyale Luna, Meet Me on the Moon. The very first black supermodel.